Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Doing a little solo stream this go around, and it's another year. It's another San Diego Comic-Con, and let's look at the reveals that we got this year. If I'm being honest, not thoroughly impressed with everything, but there are a few things that I saw that I'm like, yeah, I'm going to pick that up. I'm going to pick this up. Of course, we will cover all the Masters of the Universe reveals, but I'm going to kind of just go to the Toy Arc website and we're just going to go down the list. So whatever's popping up, we're going to click on, we're going to take a look at. And yeah, if you're living under a rock, they do this every year. San Diego Comic-Con, probably over the last 15 years, maybe a little bit more than that, is sort of blown up to this whole different thing. And it's not just toys, of course. Movie news, they do panels, reveal of like trailers and all that stuff. Seemed like not much in the way though in terms of film with the Comic-Con. So we're mostly just going to focus on the toys because everyone loves the plastic, right? And this isn't like episode proper like we do when we're covering a topic. So this is going to be very free form flowing. So any of you guys popping in here, if you got questions along the way, feel free to toss those out because I'll be looking. So hello, Chris Carter, and we'll see who else starts to pop in. I know it's random. It's a Monday afternoon, but this is sort of the start for my extended vacation that we got going on at work this year. Instead of the usual 2 weeks that we get at the end of July, beginning of August, now it's 3. So maybe we'll do some more streams along the way in addition to episodes. And we didn't have an episode this weekend because Tyler, once again, taking an excursion to the beaches. And he was supposed to have left today, but instead left on Saturday. So again, a little bonus time in the sand. But yeah, without any further ado, let's go ahead and share the screen. So Toy Arc is kind of my go-to website for all the Comic-Con reveals along the way. Of course, on X and Blue Sky, there are people on there that like to post images and everything as well. So kind of following a little bit of that, but Toy Arc's kind of got it all. So we will start right at the top. We'll go with the Munsters. NECA putting out Herman and Grandpa Munster. I guess maybe the Rob Zombie movie that came out a couple years ago, NECA put out figures for that. Maybe that was a test run. I'm assuming those didn't do too well. That movie was not that great, but yeah, it's nice to see that we're getting classics Munsters from NECA. So it's pretty interested in these, if I'm being honest. So yeah, we'll just kind of click on and we can zoom in on these a little bit. I really like Toy Arc's website and the way that they've kind of changed and upgraded stuff now. Just a little scroll of the mouse and we get these. I wonder if I click. Yeah, all right. So we can use keyboard controls here. That great looking figures. NECA always, for the most part, does a really good job of knocking these out of the park. I'm curious though, because we have all these promo shots. Okay, so I was wondering if they had static shots of what all comes with each. So of course, Grandpa here is going to have 3 heads. He's going to have a little bit of stuff that he's got down in his workshop, in addition to the shovel here. Oh no, clicked off on it. And then okay. So Herman comes with the 3 heads, which I think if I were to go with one, it would probably be one of these 2 instead of the one that they have on the body here. And then Pancake Accessories, his lunchbox, of course. Yeah, those are nice looking figures. All right, our first little dabble into the Master of the Universe reveals. So it says here we got our Masterverse collection. Got Mantana here. Mantana looks okay. Said this plenty of times. I personally don't have much interest in Masterverse other than when they released Evil Lyn and Beastman from the '87 film, and that was just to put those on the shelf. But I like what they've done here with the eyeballs. That looks nice. It's not a bad looking figure. Mosquitor with wings, as Tyler was saying in the drawings, that drawing that we showed. He said, "Yeah, Skeetor got to have wings." I mean, this figure looks good too. No complaints. Just I am not personally gonna purchase these. As I stated before, classics. It's kind of where it ended for me. I got it. I got what I want, and that's it. If they want to come out with some more movie figures, they want to do a Tila and a Man at Arms from the '87 film. I'm down for that. Anti-Eternia He-Man that we have here, so it's kind of an interesting design, having the attachable helmet here and the shield design. I mean, it looks cool, but once again, just no interest. Like, I have to have this. So seems like they've stepped up their game a little bit here with Masterverse, dare I say. But then again, looking at these here on display, displays are one thing. When you actually have it in hand from retail, will this change between now and then and look different and, dare say, cheaper than how it looks here? Because here it looks pretty great, but once they start hitting the shelves or online retailers and you get them in hand, will it be underwhelming? Is what you got to worry about. But I've never really gotten the whole Anti-Eternia He-Man deal. I just never clicked with me. All right, we get the Keldor here, which okay. This does nothing for me. And yeah, Johnny Cock here in the chat. When we get to those, I'll go ahead and highlight your comment here. When we get to those, we'll do that. Dragstore, which this looks fine. Once again, no real problem with these at all. Just not interested in the Masterverse line. But I get the people that are into it and they're digging it. And we've said this plenty of times. Like, if you are excited about any of this stuff, not just Beyond Master Universe here, any of this stuff we're showing off, you're excited about it, hell yeah. That's awesome. But he looks okay. So we got I'm just gonna say Adora here with it being with the Horde. I know isn't it like changed names and shit with the mythology, but here you go. So I guess you take this, pair it with your Anti-Eternia He-Man. We're getting a Hordak here, new Etheria, so Cobra Khan. All right, as Johnny said, we're getting 2000X Origins figures. Johnny saying here, Origins had me very tempted. So it's a mix of vintage-ish proportions meets Disney Infinity. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I got too, is they wanted to take the Origins aesthetic and kind of change it up to where it's similar to what Mattel released in 2002. So yeah, we got Roboto here, which Roboto looks cool. Ram Man, and they look very close to what we got in the show. Stratos, Mothman. I guess I could have zoomed in on some of these a little more, eh? Give you guys a better idea. So curious what all of you out there thinking. Like Johnny was tempted. I've gotten a couple of other messages of other people tempted by these 2000X Origins. I think they really kind of dropped the ball here, though, on Adam a little bit. Like he looks fine, but something in his face still looks off, and it's once again kind of the issue that they ran into with the Origins line. Triclops here, not bad. Same thing with Skeletor. I get you're trying to make it look a little more like the cartoon, but something about this seems a little off here as well for me. I don't know. Then, of course, He-Man. Once again, it's like Adam, He-Man, Skeletor. Look off. Everyone else looks pretty decent, but those three, face-wise, seems a little off. Zodak here. See, I'll highlight a couple more comments. No bother saying agreed. I'm assuming agreeing with Johnny's comment. Crom's Mountain. For me, the best reveal is 2000 X line, and the worst is the obvious repaint cash grab. Castle Grayskull looks like it's covered in piss stains, which hopefully we will come across that image here. Johnny saying they should have dug in on a cartoon face. Adam's face looks like a softened Masterverse head. Yeah, it's like this weird blend of it, Masterverse and Origins. Here's Man at Arms. Evil Lynn seems kind of off. I don't know. Then again, like these seem very much still in that prototype reveal phase. So maybe between now and then things will change. Clawful. How people are feeling about Clawful here. Looks fine. Beastman. Yeah, it looks mostly like the cartoon, but it always seems like color-wise with Beastman, they never want to get it right. I feel like I remember Beastman being a little bit darker than this, but Ethan Michael Crane saying here, yeah, I'm not feeling the Toonie Terrors 2000X look. Yeah. I saw these, and I was just like, okay, they're doing that, so there that is. Some more close-up shots of everyone. It's like Skeletor here. It's like, I don't know. They zoomed in on it a little bit, and it doesn't look as bad as the other picture does. Maybe it's all with the lighting, but also too, it's just Triclops seems a little pale here. Like the colors seem just a little off. Yeah, I'm not digging the Adam face at all. Mossman again, Stratos. Radman looks good. And then close-ups of the Masterverse reveals again. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much, or does it? I guess it just repeats again after that. Maybe that's what I was doing. Yeah, it repeats itself, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Jada Toys, we get they're doing Street Fighter Alpha 3 figures, which the Street Fighter Alpha games is not something I really dabbled too much in. I know a lot of people like the Alpha series a lot, so they're those three. Down the list, Hasbro Marvel Legends Sunday booth display. So mostly what got announced was a lot of X-Men 97 stuff. Here we get World War II Wolverine, which admittedly, looks great, but at the same time, there's been too many Wolverines and too many Spider-Mans, I think, that they've been putting out lately. Of course, Emma Frost. This is from X-Men 97. I pre-ordered this figure on Big Bad because I would love to have Emma Frost over there with my Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Of course, they showcase their Maximum Series Hulk and Spider-Man. So some of this is a lot of things we've seen before. Emperor Doom. So no interest in having Emperor Doom here. Okay, so now I'm just kind of going through. So the got more. Here was the creme de la creme for me. Pre-order window. This lasts for a month. It started on the 27th, and I think it runs until August 27th. These will be made to order. It is $80. It's free shipping, but it is $80. So you get Mephisto, and he comes with the throne. Are there any images as we? Okay, here we go. So gets all that. So we get our 2-pack Jean Grey Cyclops. So if you missed out on them years and years ago, this is kind of like the X-Men 97 upgrade of these, which I kind of wouldn't mind maybe doing this strictly because of the accessory for the beam to go into his visor, because the one I have obviously came out years and years ago doesn't have that accessory. And I just think that looks badass for display purposes. Yeah, like that looks awesome. So that would be one I would be tempted just to upgrade. because I do already have both of these figures in previous form. Yeah, there you go. X-Men 97. So here's Emma Frost. I pre-ordered her. I think this is probably the best Emma Frost that has come out. And they did a really good job on these X-Men 97 figures, without a doubt. Of course, we get the basketball, Gambit and Rogue. Not much interest in this, but people were pointing out that with this ab crunch and everything, that they've pretty much, when Hasbro put out that ill-fated, I see it all the time at Ollie's, the starting lineup figures, that it's essentially a starting lineup figure mold, and that's what they used here for Gambit. Rogue, they've done a really good job with Rogue's face sculpts the last few figures that have come out too, like the original X-Men 97, the one that came out in that Savage Land 3-pack that was exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con this year, but I think they're gonna put some online. So if any interest in that, watch out for Hasbro polls. I don't know if it's exclusive or not. We get Jubilee here. I didn't finish X-Men 97. I think I got like 4 or 5 episodes into it, and I thought it was pretty decent. I know, much like most of the things that Marvel's putting out these days, a little divisive for everyone, but what I watched was pretty enjoyable. So here's Jubilee. And then they're doing this pairing with Magic the Gathering. I think there's like 3 figures here, so we get this anti-Venom. No interest in these at all, but I guess it's, if you want the card to put into your deck, if there's any interest in that at all, there you go. Agent Anti-Venom, Magic the Gathering. I don't know how much that ups the price, having the card in there. Is Battle Damage Spider-Man, which sure, I guess, but I have no interest in a Battle Damage Spider-Man. But that also is part of this Magic the Gathering wave. So there you go. And then, of course, we have here John Jameson, Man-Wolf. This I know not much about. If Tyler were here, maybe he could give a little insight. I know nothing about the aspect here. I don't know. When did this come to pass? That's something I would have to really look into. So any interest there it is. Is this also? Yeah, okay. Iron Spider. So there was 4. I thought it was just 3. Here's Cable, X-Men 97. Let's see what else you guys got saying here in the chat. Let's see. Worst Comic-Con theme is things like that. Insultingly priced HasLab vehicle and the barrage of people defending it. Yeah, that always seems to be a case during all of these. And with the reveals is when they do HasLab stuff. And whether it be G.I. Joe or Star Wars, I think anytime they do one of those, a lot of people price-wise, it's just, where do you kind of stand on that? It's like, when we see a Mephisto with the throne, $80. Now, some people will say $80, that's too much. But for me, having to wait this long even to get a Mephisto, and if you look up the price of the Marvel Select, the Diamond Select put out ages ago on eBay, astronomical price. So to get him and the throne at $80 seems, I guess, just because of the market value of the Marvel Select, that it seems like an absolute no-brainer. But I did pre-order it. I know for a fact Tyler pre-ordered it. Johnny saying here, I made another attempt to watch the CGI Master Universe aimed at kids. I caught myself scrolling Instagram most of the time, so I have now officially given up. Yeah, if I were going to pick one of those Netflix shows over the other, it would definitely be the CGI show. I've said this before. They took a chance with changing the mythology of it, and I can appreciate it in that regard. Some of the twists and turns that it took, I was like, all right, this is fine. Like I enjoyed it way more than the Revolution show. But that's, once again, that's not saying much. But I appreciate what it tried to do, even though it was not. Because anytime you start messing with the mythology of things, that a lot of people, especially longtime fans, take umbrage with it, and I never do most of the time because that stuff just doesn't bother me anymore. But I get where people are coming from. You don't want to mess with something it's already been established. People know the thing, but in this day and age of constantly regurgitating everything anymore, changing some stuff here and there, if it can work out in the grand scheme of things and justify it plot wise, and why not? But I truly do get it. But most things like this just don't bother me anymore. Now, if Tyler were here, he would flip out. No bother saying, why wasn't the Dragon Man shown at all? Should it have been released by now? Let me double check. I do want to say that I got charged for Dragon Man today, because that is also one that I pre-ordered all the way back in September of last year. So let me see here if let me go into my order history. I think that's the one. Yeah, I got charged for it today, so no bother. I would assume that Dragon Man's going to be shipping out soon. But yeah, it's kind of strange that they didn't have them on display, but I guess that, much like your name, I guess they don't want to bother with it. Not sure. Why is that? Okay, there we go. Sort of froze on me for a second. Not enough Beta Ray bills, right? Yeah, absolutely. Need more. I would like a Marvel Legend that is comic accurate to the first appearance. Like they came out with one a while back, but that was more of the new look of Beta Ray Bill. I would like to see a classics look for him in the future. $80 is nuts. I would agree. I would say probably a few years back that Mephisto with the throne probably would have been like 50. But with how things are now and uncertainty and tariffs, and companies are going to raise the prices across the board. Yeah, we're saying 80 is nuts, but then you also have to think like Super 7's model of what they're putting out. Those are $60 a pop, and are probably going to increase as well. So it's kind of, it is what it is. It's like, would I have liked to have paid less than $80? Absolutely. But will I pay $80 for Mephisto? Absolutely. So it's what it is. Let's see what else you guys got here. Oh, Manic Toy, hey, what's up? Maybe, and Johnny saying maybe the display Dragon Man got damaged on the way to California. I'm sure things like that have happened. But here's Cable, X-Men 97. Looks fine, I guess. I think if anything, most people probably want it for the accessories and then do head swaps, because I've seen a lot of people doing that stuff if they're not crazy about certain head sculpts, like Sue Storm, for example. Other than the First Steps figure that came out, which I think the face sculpt on that looks fantastic for a Sue Storm. Does it look exactly like the actress? Not necessarily, but I love the face sculpt of that figure. Most of the Sue Storms, I think of the like the vintage, when they did the vintage line of Fantastic Four in the Legends format. Her face sculpt on that is awful. So I kind of want to maybe find someone else's do a head swap on that, because that face sculpt is absolutely awful. Like, it's decent on the Walgreens exclusive one, and then there was like the other set where they're in the black suits. That face sculpt on that was decent, but Sue Storm's always been, for whatever reason, they can't get her face sculpts to look that great. Here's Wolverine. This is good looking Wolverine. Once again, though, don't think I need this one. Yes, here we go. Yeah, look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. Love this Mephisto. I know $80 is nuts, no bother. I'm totally with you on that, but this is a sacrifice I am willing to make. Throne looks good. Here is also a little Daredevil tease. I don't think a lot of people caught when they were looking at it. So there you go. Yeah, it just looks good. Excited to have it, and put in the scale with Spider-Man there. Very tall and lanky as he needs to be. This is probably how I'm going to pose him. I'm not going to have him standing. He's definitely going to be sitting on that throne, paying $80 for it. But once again, made to order, so this is open for 1 month. So you got time if you want to pre-order it. Got Morph here, which Morph is one that I always just saw that episode. I've talked about this before, but when the original X-Men animated series was on the air, I felt like I would only catch the same 2 or 3 episodes every weekend when this would come on, and the one I would always see was Morph dying. This is when we get into all the other, Sunspot, so and then Storm, which the Storm looks great. I could see people picking this up and doing some head swaps too with that. I mean, that's a good looking Storm, but once again, I already have a Storm figure, so starting to reach a point where it's limited space in terms of like team wise. So I have an X-Men shelf, and that's like pretty much packed out. So all of these, I kind of would like to get the brown suit here, and this is a 2-pack, I believe. I think, yes. So that Storm looks really good. So we have that one Storm. We get this Storm, and then for all of you, if you want to cosplay as Wolverine, here's the helmet, much like they've done. That Doctor Doom one just came out. That looked pretty good. So if any of you have any interest in that. Let's see. Crom, not really a Marvel fan, but would like that throne for some of my Mythic Legions figures. Yeah, I was reading some stuff on that too. That throne, that seemed like a lot of Mythic Legions fans would want to pick that up. So here you go. Deadpool Wolverine mask. If you're interested in now, I think we're back at the beginning of that. So there we go. We're scrolling. Star Wars. Last time I was interested in Star Wars was Mandalorian Season 2. And after that, I haven't even watched Season 3. I kind of don't have much interest. But for those of you that are into Star Wars and the Black Series, here you go. So I'm assuming this is all Clone Wars stuff. I don't know, but just looking at Anakin here, that's what I'm assuming is the case. Yeah. Clones of the Republic. So yeah, if you guys are interested in any of this stuff, is this from Knights of the Old Republic? Is she from the game? No, Clone Wars. My Star Wars knowledge, if it's not just the first 3 movies, count me out. I mean, here's Vader and Luke. Does that actually come with? Okay, it's not going to show us that. Good old Django Fett. So what's the deal with this? Is this just a lot of this stuff, Star Wars wise, just a lot of re-release things? Because I would assume that Django has come out in the Black Series well before now. Or if he came out in the series, was it just him with the helmet and now you get him with his face? Like, I don't know. Star Wars. Like, I don't even know who this guy is. Oh, okay, the Acolyte, okay. Sure. Chewbacca. This is vintage collection. Okay, so they're doing much like they do with I've seen some of these. So we got the Black Series, but then this is also like the Black Series, but it's just on a vintage card, more or less. Han Solo. So it's what's the point of this? Like these have all come out over the years. It's just like, oh well, now you can get them on the vintage card. Is that really the only selling point for these? That makes no sense. Especially, I guess the only reason you would want to get these is if you're a Star Wars fan and you're a mint on card collector, to just have them in a bigger scale so you could pair them with the vintage that you have. Yeah. Johnny saying, not interested in Star Wars from a U aspect because outside of full armor and aliens, there's too much person wearing brown and tan. Yeah. Yeah, it's just I have no desire really to watch any Star Wars stuff anymore. Because it's like if I want to put on the original trilogy and I'm going to watch on Disney Plus, then it's going to be all that remastered stuff, right? So I would prefer to watch the original movies as they were intended. Like I don't want anything messed with, like just how it was when it came out in 77 through 83. Dragon Ball stuff, no interest in Dragon Ball. I mean, if someone was like, "Hey, you want to hang out and watch Dragon Ball Z?" then yeah, I give it a shot, I guess. But I have no idea who any of these characters are. So for those of you that are interested in this stuff, here you go. There's the 18 images on that. Try to pay more attention to some of that stuff. Kyoto Revoltech displays. So here's their rendition of Batman Beyond. Chun-Li, which I don't know. I don't really, to me, I don't see the appeal of these, but yeah. Deathstroke. I guess it's kind of if you just want it in a hyper stylized way that looks like something that was in a Batman Arkham game. This is the designs for you. And some Attack on Titan, which I've watched. Is it the first? I think I've watched the first season of that and enjoyed it. I liked it, but maybe that's something I'll go back to and finish. All right, so Colossal Titan. That's pretty cool. That's badass. All right. Booth picks. We won't take a look at those because we already saw like the studio shots. I'll open that up in case there's anything that we miss. We'll try to like see if we can search and find anything because there's all the links in one spot. Let's see what we got here from Hiya Toys. Is just Persona 5 stuff. So if you're into Persona 5, which I had this bad habit like 10 years ago that a game would come out and I'd read reviews for it and get caught up in the hype of it. So I do own Persona 5, and I think much like a shitload of other video games, I would play it for 5 to 10 hours, sometimes less, depending. This was one I think I sunk maybe 3-4 hours into and enjoyed it, but then like days would pass. I just didn't come back around to it for whatever reason. Mezco 1, we get Batman Year 1 here. So the Mezco does a great job, but you have to have the cash for these. I know saying no bother saying $80 for Mephisto with the throne was nuts, but these Mezco figures are like $110 or so a pop. Comes with a shitload of accessories, so you get multiple hands and in most cases multiple heads and everything, but still $100 for one figure. That's when it comes a point as a collector, you have to just draw that line for yourself. It's if you're going to go with Mezcos and only Mezcos, Are you limiting that to who you're picking up, or are you going to try to go and complete? Like, I have the Fantastic Four Mezco set, and that was like $400 some. I received that as, was it a Christmas gift or a birthday gift? It was one of the two. And that was just a special rare occasion. Those are the only Mezcos I own, just because it's Fantastic Four, and I love Fantastic Four. And before anyone starts to ask in the chat, no, I haven't gone to see First Steps yet. I'm probably going to go at some point this week. I had a decent amount of stuff going on this weekend, but also in addition, I don't go to movies opening weekend anymore because it's just it's too crowded. It's too many people. I would much rather, as best I can, avoid going when it's crowded, because the people just don't know how to act in movie theaters anymore. So the more people in there kind of turns up the odds of it being a terrible experience. But I'll try to go see First Steps this week. I would also like to go see Superman, just to kind of see what I think about it. And then we didn't go see it a couple weeks back, but Emily wants to go see it. We'll go see that Jurassic World, just to go, because I don't really go to the movies anymore. And then in August, actually right before I go back to work, Tyler and I are going to go to that anniversary screening of the 1990 Ninja Turtle movie, because it's a Fathom event, and that'll be fun to see that for the first time on the big screen since I saw it as a kid. So here is year one Batman, though, which it looks good. Like, Mezco always knocks it out of the park with these. So Batman looks great. McFarlane, Mortal Kombat Classics, and Fallout figures. So here we go. I enjoyed that first season of Fallout, so I'm curious. It seems like they're going to go the New Vegas route with season 2. So I enjoyed my time with that show and look forward to that. But McFarlane coming out with Mortal Kombat Classics. So if you missed out on the Storm Collectibles line of Mortal Kombat figures, maybe this is something you want to jump into. We'll get past the Fallout stuff here. I'm curious how these will look in hand. I know a lot of people don't really collect the DC McFarlane stuff because of the scale of the figures. It's an odd scale because they're taller than Marvel Legends. So for most people that are wanting their displays to kind of mix everything together, they don't particularly enjoy that. Oh, yes, Johnny, yes. Shin Godzilla, I need to go see, because that is the one movie that's eluded me because I've waited too long and you can't get it on disc, well, at a decent price. And for whatever reason, digitally, it's not available. So I'm hoping this is going to get a re-release, maybe like a 4K disc, and I'll pick that up. Also saying, let's see, I pre-ordered the Mondo Godzilla and Hedorah Cherry Blossom set. Tariff surcharge on it was $78. Holy shit. Yeah, that sucks. Which hopefully we'll come across that so people at home can see it. But I'm curious how these are going to end up looking in hand. I don't think I probably won't pick these up. Oh, I guess someone is here delivering a package. I was thinking about this ahead of time. I was like, if one of the dogs starts barking, should I just set up something that was like, we'll be right back, that plays like music in the background? And I probably should have made that before I started doing it. So apologies out there. But like I said before, this isn't like traditional like episode. I'm not going to rip the audio of this and put it out there for people to listen to in a podcast format. That's just free flowing. We're just hanging out and checking out these figures to see if anything catches anyone's eye. Jada Toys, this is from Friday. Oh, yeah. Definitely interested in this. I have Vega on pre-order. T-Hawk looking good. We got E-Honda, Zangief, Balrog there. And then we got the Alpha figures up top. And they're doing this stuff where it's just like alternate colors. So if you're like player 2 where you hit the start button instead of A, like I would do on Super Nintendo with Street Fighter 2 Turbo. They're doing alternate colors, the Player 2 variant there. So if you want Cammy in that, here's the alpha stuff. The Scooby-Doo figures look really, really good. And I love that they're going to have the cartoon accurate monsters in there. This is a line that I would be kind of tempted to dig into a little bit. I watched Scooby-Doo a lot as a kid. It's not something I've gone back to as an adult to watch, really, but these look really good. And the thing with Jada Toys is the price point on these are amazing. Granted, they've gone up a little bit with the tariff stuff, but, $25, $30 for the Street Fighter figures, which I got on display to my left here. Amazing. I'm assuming I don't know if they'll do how they did before in the Scooby-Doo figures, or are they going to be single releases, or will they be 2-packs? I don't know if that's been specified. But yeah, Invincible stuff. I think I've watched the first episode of this on Amazon. I haven't read any of the comics. Seemed pretty cool, but I don't know enough about it. Those of you in the chat, if you've watched this, is it something that you would recommend that I watch the animated series on? Let's see what we got here. So I think there's just more close-up shots of everybody. What is this? I have no idea what this is. Who are these? Who are these guys? These I'm not aware of, though I do see, because Jada Toys has also put out like the cereal stuff. Oh, now we're just circling around. There was a shot down there at the bottom. They had Flintstones figures. Click on this one. Yeah, and Frosty the Snowman down there. So they do a fantastic job with these. Yeah, here we go. Ninja Turtles crossing over with Godzilla, and I have to say, between the Turtles of Grayskull and the Thundercat stuff, and now looking at this, and then even previously we're doing like Cobra Kai with Ninja Turtles, I'm tired of the crossover stuff. There's also, I think, just under this, they're doing like a Megatron Skeletor deal. I'm kind of tired of the crossover stuff. If you guys are digging it, that's great. I can't click on this and zoom in, but you get the idea here. I no interest in this, and I love Godzilla and I love Ninja Turtles, but I don't want crossover figures for that. So if you're into the Rolling Stones, NECA is putting out cloth figures. So yeah, if you're into Rolling Stones and want some figures of that, there you go. These are fine. I'm not a big fan of the cloth figures from NECA. They just, some about them looks odd, and the paint scheme on the faces of these two always seem very chalky and off compared to what they have in their Ultimates figures. So not a big fan of the cloth stuff. Though that is interesting that it's just a faceplate that slides on instead of a head. I'm surprised they haven't done more of that, to be honest. Instead of having multiple heads, why not just have face plates, much like Hot Toys does with their stuff? But also, like Hot Toys does it with a little magnet, and I'm sure this is just more of like just a peg in the face. But yeah, into Rolling Stones, there you go. Here we go. Here is I forgot that there's the Bumblebee Man-at-Arms. So here's original sketch Spikor, which actually in Target yesterday I saw the sketchbook. Cyclone, did not pick them up. I just no interest. But if you're into this to add to your Origins collection, here you go. And now we're crossing over. So here is a Bumblebee Man-at-Arms. Why? Once again, I ask why. Does anyone have any interest in this? Not just you guys in the live chat. I want to stress this too. If you're watching this after the fact and you're putting it on just to like chill out and hang out too, leave me some comments down below and let me know any of this stuff that you're particularly interested in, or if it's something like this that you're just like, why are they doing this? Why are we doing so much crossover stuff now? I don't get it. Really don't understand it. I mean, admittedly, the Megatron Skeletor, I'm like, okay, sure, but at the same time, why? Why? Also, I'm kind of surprised they did Bumblebee Man and it just wasn't like He-Man crossing over with Optimus Prime or whatever. I'm surprised they went with this. So is this a mini comic? Or is this just packaging? I'm hoping that's just packaging and not mini comic. And if it's mini comic, is this going to be just another like 5-6 page thing that they've been doing since Origins has started? Yeah, just no interest in that. Man, why? Is what it is, right? Anything to make an extra buck. Here is the gunship HasLab. $449 is the price point for this guy. Oh, this is when they were teasing it, so they brought it. I saw like a video of this, and then here they are with it in hand. So I don't know. You let me know. I'm sure old Retro Blasting probably having a fit about this. $450 for that. Is that? I don't know. Like I paid, I think it was $400 for Galactus HasLab. That's the only HasLab I've contributed to. So, to me, that felt worth it. But is this worth $450? How much would this have been 5 years ago when HasLabs really started to get going? That's the thing we got to factor in too. Like, prices have obviously had to change, unfortunately. There you go. $450. That can be yours. I'm not going to click on the Star Wars booth thing because we already saw the images. All right, here's the Snake Lair official images. Kicks off on Mattel Creations August 1st at 9 a.m. Pacific time. It will run until August 28th. Playset is going to be priced at $300 plus shipping and handling. You've got to be kidding me. $300. $300 for this. Holy shit. $300. And this is like the size of Grayskull, right? It looked like it. Oh, it comes with a couple extra figures and this steed. Like, you could have done without that and dropped the price. I don't think people are clamoring to have. I mean, granted, the beast looks pretty cool, but no. Yeah, so it's the size of Grayskull, guys. $300. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you were thinking that HasLab was not worth the money, this is definitely not worth $300. Are we sure that's just not a typo? Let me backtrack on this. Yeah, right here. $300. Wow. So 6,000 backers, this gets funded. 8,000. Oh, okay. So we're not even, of course, they're going to put that in the tiers. How much was the Eternia playset? That was like how much was that? 400, 450? And that thing's massive. This is just the size of Grayskull and Snake Mountain. And they want $300. Holy shit. No. No. Like 150 would have been pushing it. What do you guys think? Is this going to get funded? Are there enough fans of Master Universe Origins out there that for $300, this will get funded. Expensive. Nope. They can keep it. Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah, there's more of the crossover stuff. Marvel Legends case images. Won't look at that. Here's some more Star Wars for you. So if you want to get the remastered ending of Anakin and Obi-Wan and Yoda, we got that. We got old Mace Windu over here. And then Palpatine like hits him with the thing, and then Anakin's standing there, and then Palpatine's like, "Do it." Oh, okay, good. So they gave swappable heads. So at least if you want the original Anakin, you can do that. But once again, I thought all of these came out at one point. Why? They have packaging. Okay. Yeah, so it's just, here's the vintage. Ugh. Yeah, no. And also, I guess, is this like their smaller? Is this the 3 3/4 stuff? No, 6-inch. Okay. Oh yeah, they also came out with the MCU, not DCU, MCU Spider-Man role play mask that the eyes move. So if you're into that, that's kind of neat. And then of course we get close-up shots of Daredevil Born Again, which I do have this Daredevil pre-ordered, and I actually got the Matt Murdock from the Spider-Man No Way Home. They had him at Ollie's for $10. I went ahead and picked that up. I'll probably get this Punisher too, just because I'm a big fan of the Netflix Daredevil, and then Born Again was overall pretty solid. You could tell that you could see bits of that original direction they were wanting to go, especially with that bank episode that just stuck out like a sore thumb. So we had that. But yeah, I'll probably pick up the Daredevil here, because I also do have the Kingpin from that came out in Marvel Legends live action Kingpin from the Hawkeye show. So just to have a little live action Daredevil shelf. Here is Berserk Guts, which I started to watch the original from, what was it, 97? And I think I was like 9 or 10 episodes into that. I need to jump back into it. I was digging that quite a bit. So I don't know enough about the lore of Berserk, but I want to. So I need to, now that I have some time here in the next few weeks, maybe I can finish out and watch the rest of that show. So if you're a fan of Berserk, here you go. But the figure arts, they come out with good quality stuff too. Ashley Wood Underverse booth images. No idea what any of this stuff is. What was it? Sarah, The Drowned, Dagger, Naval Patrol, Ioma, Fierce Girls, One Round, Ruthless Blade 11. We'll click on this stuff and just scroll through it quickly for all of you that have interest in any of this stuff. And when it comes to anime, I'm not well versed in it. I've watched your generic things. I've started Berserk. I've watched Cowboy Bebop. I've watched Attack on Titan. I watched I can't think of the name of it. Drawing a blank on it. Hopefully the thought will come back into my head. But yeah, here you go. If you got any interest in this, once again, don't know what. Zoom in on, like, who's this guy? The Drown. He looks pretty cool. He's got like a chicken hand thing for him. And then here is Naval Patrol and Dagger. These are like dead astronaut and dog, I guess. I don't know. I mean, that looks cool. It looks something you would see like out of a video game. Yeah. No, nothing on that stuff. Factory Entertainment. So there's a Battlestar Galactica original and Jaws stuff. So let's see what we got going on here. Got some Brandon Fraser, the Mummy. So I've noticed that there's a lot of companies that are sort of coming out of the woodwork now that are obtaining licenses. That was like, oh, all right, well, this is interesting. Let's see what this company brings to the table and how the final product is. So I guess this is sort of going to rival like your Hot Toys and sideshow stuff. So it looks pretty good. I have to tell Tyler about these because I think he's getting like the Jaws like Ultimate figures here, so I'll have to show him these too because he might have some interest in that. Original Battlestar Galactica, I haven't watched. It's something I would like to watch, but I did watch the remake show, and for the most part, really enjoyed that. All right, so we do get a little bit of remake here. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Of course, towards the tail end of it in that last season, it fell apart a little bit, but not in a way that I look at something like Game of Thrones falling apart. Oh, okay. So they're also doing 3 3/4 stuff. That's badass. See, I haven't looked at any of this stuff yet, so really cool. What we got under here? Peacemaker helmet, Thunderball jetpacks. I guess got accessories from Star Trek and James Bond. Huh. I wonder how much. We'll have to backtrack and see how much these are, but that's nice. It's cool to see like vintage Battlestar getting some love. Oh, and then of course we got cosplay helmets. We're back to the beginning of there. I don't know if so it doesn't list anything price wise on that, but that's cool. Factory Entertainment. It's a company I need to start looking out for. Monster Arts, Godzilla, and more. Come to find out, like Godzilla wise, because the license is kind of all over the place. Of course, Playmates puts out the movie stuff from the States, and then they're like Bandai, of course, puts out various versions of figures, and then we have all these other companies too that are putting stuff out. We get Shin Godzilla here, which I still need to watch. So that as Johnny stated, August 14th, that might be something I need to go and just check out in theater. Jet Jaguar. What bums me out a lot is sort of the thing really missing here, unfortunately, is Diamond Select, since they have gone under, which I think NECA purchased them. I actually have a couple pre-orders from Diamond Select, so I'm imagining all of that's just going to be a no-go because I had the Better Ray Bill statue pre-ordered. I'm assuming that there's not going to be any follow through with that. And the bummer about that is the pre-order was like I think it was like a $15 or $20 non-refundable thing to commit to. So I guess I'll be out of the money there. But you got any interest in Godzilla, Kong, The New Empire, which I have not watched? Probably I might, just to rank it with the rest of the Godzilla movies back at the beginning here. Here we go. A Mondo booth. Let's bring this back to Master Universe a little bit. Yeah, so Swift Wind. We got She-Ra here. This was something that was announced, like this was a last year announcement, correct? That I don't think that they had booth images of. So here we go. Plethora of accessories. Which I love that Mondo does that. But once again, Mondo, this is something that you have to really commit to. If you're going to buy this line, it is not cheap at all. But like, the stuff looks great. They've done a really good job of bouncing back from that. Oh, Brian Clifton saying here, Invincible is incredible. The animated is good. The comic series is complete and collected in 3 compendiums. So yeah, maybe that's something I'll have to check out. Scroll down a little bit here. Get different face sculpts for She-Ra. as Mondo does. I don't know. Does that say? So deluxe bundle timed edition. I'll have to back up on that. Also getting some Ninja Turtles, which once again it's great, but it's just between the NECA cartoon figures, the NECA movie figures, the quarter scale movie figures. Like, do you want to commit to getting Mondos? And so back in that space, it's like, are you going to collect everything Ninja Turtles? Are you going to collect everything Master Universe? So where do you guys draw the line for yourselves as collectors? It's you look at it currently right now. If you're jumping into Master Universe, right? Like you missed out on classics. You had vintage stuff and you got rid of it when you were a kid over the years. Are you at that point going to collect the vintage line because that's what you remember? Are you going to collect classics, or are you jumping in price wise because you're like, oh well, here's Masterverse and Origins, I'll just go this route? Or are you just going to collect it all? Because some people collect everything that they see of something that they love, no matter what it is. Oh, this Netflix show came out with this stuff. Well, I'm going to get the figures. What'd you think of the cartoon? It was okay, but I'm going to buy the figures. It's like, okay. So where does everyone draw the line with that? But prototype price to be determined. Available fall. All right. So these are this is the 1/12 scale. So these are the 6-inch figures that we got here. Clawful looks really good. I mean, He-Man looks good too. So this is sort of based more on 2000X. Yeah, as we have here. As it's stated on the card, dumbass, pay attention. It's going to be much like the Ghostbuster stuff. These are going to be $100 pop. And that's unfortunate. It would have been nice to see them be, maybe like at the least like $70, $75. But $100 for these, more than likely. I'm assuming it's going to kind of fall in line with the price of Ghostbusters that they've done. Because I had one of my friends reach out. It's like, oh, look, it's Ghostbusters. Like, yeah, like a couple of these guys have already come out in deluxe form, and they were like 100 and some change. And then they released them in non-deluxe form, and they're $100. I was like, well, he's like, I'm gonna get them. I'm like, yeah, all right, man, you're crazy, because it's a lot of money. We're at a point now where this stuff is so socially acceptable and cool now that I think these companies realize that we can put out any of this stuff and just slap a high price on it, and a lot of people will buy it. So much like the MCU and how it's kind of had its struggles the last little while, ever since Endgame, have sort of wrapped up those phases. Will we kind of run into this same thing as collectors? Will this bubble eventually burst and people start thinking like, all right, I was willing to pay up until this point, and now that you've crossed this threshold and upping this, I'm gonna just speak with my wallet and not purchase anymore. So it's, once again, if you're wanting 2000X stuff in a 6-inch scale, or do you want to go with this, or do you want to go and just collect the vintage, which we can say now because that was like well over 20 years ago? Go and collect those, or will you just be like, I'll get them in Origins form? Like, these look amazing. Don't get me wrong, these look incredible, but I'm not going to spend the $100 or more per figure. It's too much. But this Clawful really kicks ass. They did a really good job on that. Here's the Ghostbusters. So they had deluxe, where it's like, here's a Ghostbuster, and here's I would love, like, I don't have to have the Ghostbusters here because I have the Diamond Select ones that came out. I am very happy with those. If they wanted to release these guys by themselves, then I would have to seriously consider, do I want to spend the money because it's amazingly done. Sculpts on these look fantastic, but it's just a simple thing of price. It's too much. Way too much. But they look great. So I'm curious how the Ninja Turtles are going to look. Here we go. So this is more of that 1/6 scale. So we get Savage Rogue, which looks great. Storm, animated series Superman, animated series Two-Face. Mr. Sinister, Slash. Slash looks incredible. There's Lino. Oh, they got Chitara now. And Mumra. Once again, Mondo does good shit. It's just the price. Oh, look, the multiple heads for Storm. That's cool. I'd probably go with the Mohawk. The Two-Face looks amazing. They all look good. I was actually seriously considering selling my Master Universe Mondos that I have. Maybe keep the Scareglow. Maybe. But so I have Scareglow, Merman, Man-at-Arms. I have the He-Man with, you can swap between like Battle Armor and Thunder Punch and everything. God, Faker. I don't know. It's something I was thinking about because I don't have them on display. Get some decent money from them. I'm normally not one to just sell out there like that, but it's something I've heavily considered. So we got the new Faker here. We get Disco Skeletor, $235. So to give you guys an idea, Prince Adam. This is a Comic-Con exclusive here, $250. Scarecrow, Robin, Bane. Like the animated stuff looks great. And of course, they had to give him the laughy face. Omega Red looks awesome. Fuck. Mondo does good stuff. Like Mondo a lot. Yeah, Mask. These are up for pre-order now. Oh, there's it comes. I know. We're doing a record disc. That must have been an exclusive to Comic-Con because I do, sitting actually like right over here, I do have this gem. I bought that gem from Walmart and it looks great. I'm kind of one of those things, like anything gem-wise they put out, I think I'm going to buy. Like I would really love for someone to put out 6-inch scale gem and Misfit figures. That would be a lot of fun. Like I do have the Diamond Select Jim statue like right here. Jim is just one of those things. The songs on that show kick ass and the stories are nuts, just absolutely crazy. The Misfits, we're gonna disrupt this. We're gonna plant a bomb in the couch at their place. But yeah, Mask is out. Actually, let me look it up here on Big Bad because this was something that they were showing. They did have it on their main page here. Yeah. And they made like a big deal about it. Mask Returns, the Legacy Reimagined. Price-wise, not a little pricey. So we have the high-tech helicopter. We got the Thunderhawk. We got Condor Mobile Defense Unit. So it says exclusive set. Let me click on this. So you can get everything that I just mentioned. This is Loyal Subjects that have put this out. You can get all of it for $325. So I don't know how people feel about that. So the helicopter, the high-tech helicopter vehicle with Miles Mayhem is $90. So we have here Matt Tracker with Thunderhawk. That's $60. So this right here is $60. But this is just Big Bad prices. Now, I know Loyal Subject stuff shows up at Walmart. I've seen a lot of Loyal Subjects at Walmart, so maybe the price will be cheaper if they show up in stores. But just kind of give you an idea. So this is $60. Once again, it reaches the point that is reimagined. You have to ask yourself, how much would it be if I wanted to find the like vintage and go that route? So once again, I gotta give big props to Tom because they had the San Diego Comic Con exclusive Ectoglow Ghostbuster set, and it's pretty much just the vintage molds, and that the Ectoglow are the only vintage figures that I'm missing to have a complete collection. They also came out with Lewis, so I need to get him, unfortunately. But Tom was awesome enough to pick me up the exclusive set there because he attended the con. So looking forward to getting that. So once again, Tom, I already thanked him personally, but I'll thank him here on air. Thank you for picking that up for me. It's going to be awesome to have him on the shelf here. And then when I cut the lights off, you'll just see everything glow in the dark because the scare glows do it. And I have a couple things on the Ghostbuster shelf that glow in the dark. I thought there was something I had on the Marvel Legends shelf that did the same thing. But here you go. I mean, this stuff looks great. Loyal Subjects is doing great work with the licenses that they have, which, yeah, so that was definitely a gem record. So I guess they made a vinyl. I wonder if that was exclusive. Yeah, My Pet Monster. I think they put out like the My Buddy figure. Here's some more. Let's go with 3-0. So we got Mega Man, Robotech, Power Rangers, and Marvel. So if any of the stuff that 3-0 does. So here's Cyberpunk, which those gamers out there, I think someone was pointing stuff out. Has anyone played Cyberpunk 2077 since they've done all the updates? Is that something worthy of giving a shot? Because it looked really interesting, and I'm a big fan of the studio because the Witcher games are really great. So I was wondering how Cyberpunk 2077 was. There you go. Some Iron Man stuff, Power Rangers. Which I came across those Playmates Power Rangers stuff they've done, where it's just sort of their interpretation of like the flippy head gimmick, and I saw like the morpher and everything at Walmart yesterday. Looked kind of, if I'm being honest, it looked kind of cheap. Sort of much preferred when Hasbro had the line. The Lightning series was pretty swell. This looks good. $260 for this. So maybe this would be something after I watch it. Like, you know what? I'd really like to have that for $260. I doubt I'll do it, but we're back at the beginning of that one. Kyoto, Yu-Gi-Oh! Attack on Titan, and Batman Beyond. So all you Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans out there, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is something I would see on the shelves, still see on the shelves, and it's not something I have any interest in. So I guess it's just more booth pictures. Yeah, more booth pictures of what we saw earlier. That's awesome. Colossal Titan. Like, if you're a big Attack on Titan fan, having that on the shelf, that'd be pretty badass. Jazzwares, Pokemon, Five Nights at Freddy's, AEW. Take a look at some of that. What was this? My Hero Academia. Once again, I see shit for this all the time. Glancing around like posters, whatever, but I have zero interest in watching this. So once again, Chad, if you've watched it, let me know. Is it something worth checking out? I know nothing about it. Avatar. I've watched a little bit of Avatar. Emily likes Avatar. Put that on, and I've enjoyed that for what it is. Stranger Things. They're finally going to finish up. They're going to wrap up the show. All the kids are like in their mid-20s now. That's awesome. I didn't know Jazzwares had Star Wars stuff, but I guess this is just like, oh, that's actually, no, Micro Galaxy Squadron. Okay, so it's just like the smaller scale things. Five Nights at Freddy's. Never played the game. Definitely did not watch that movie that they did, though I saw that they're coming out with the second one. Makes sense. That first one did pretty well for them. AEW, figures get old Jeff Jarrett and Ric Flair. We got here Okada, Juice Robinson, Mark Briscoe. Is that Roderick Strong? I guess. So the bad thing, Mattel's way better about this with their WWE stuff. The bad thing with AEW is by the time they come out with these figures, so many things have changed because this Roderick Strong is back when he had his neck brace and he was walking around saying Adam, and that was like 2 years ago. So they're just now coming out with a figure of that. It's a little behind. And admittedly, the sculpts on these aren't as great as what Mattel is doing with the WWE stuff. The only AEW figure I have is the Brody Lee because I was in Target and I saw it and I was like, yeah, I'll pick this up. There's Will Ospreay. We get Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné. Copeland and Mox, which this is a little bit newer. Swerve. Then we got Pokemon. So if you're into Pokemon, I like the games. I like the Pokemon games. Iron Studios. There'll probably be a picture in here, maybe. So we got Hellboy, $800. Hellboy. Iron Studios is I love what they're doing. The Master Universe statues look amazing. Got Liu Kang. We got Peacemaker. We got Batman. Is this like Ninja Batman? I don't know. It's kind of Batman 89-esque aesthetic. Gremlins. That looks awesome. Some Lord of the Rings. Got Gimli. Which I was actually thinking about Lord of the Rings last week. I'm like, I need to sit down and just rewatch the trilogy again. I watched Fellowship. I think it was like I kind of get in the mood for those around like Thanksgiving and Christmas time. So I watched Fellowship. I was like, yeah, I got to finish the rest. And then it didn't come back to Two Towers. Of course, if you're going to watch them, extended edition's the way to go. I got some Star Wars. Get Leia with an Ewok. Xenomorph. Predator. Looks good. Parker and Mary Jane. Gargoyles. Sloth. $350 for that one. It's more Lord of the Rings, Wizard of Oz, Green Lantern. That Hal Jordan looks pretty cool. Plastic Man. Now this is one I honestly would kind of like to get. I really like Plastic Man. Got some Jurassic Park, Batman. I guess this is from one of the World movies. Yeah. Galactus from First Steps, which, if I like the movie, something I may be in consideration of. I am picking up the Marvel Legends from it because I just think they all look really, really great. Like I have Johnny Storm and Thing. I was going to get Thing regardless because just I have a Thing collection up here on the top shelf. But I actually got Human Torch in yesterday and pre-ordered Sue and Reed just to have them pre-ordered. I'm trying to find them out in the wild. If I find them out in the wild, of course, I'll cancel the pre-order. But yeah, this Iron Studios Galactus looks great. Pre-order now. I'm gonna get the Thing here, like just to add to the Thing collection. So I think if this is the case, if I did enjoy the movie, I doubt I'll get the rest of Iron Studio because Iron Studio statues are very pricey. So we'll just stick with the Thing. But these look great. Iron Studios always knocks it out. Enjoy it. Superman. And then, of course, they have, here's what we released. And actually today, I don't know if, here we go. I'm getting this guy in today. I did pick up the Iron Studios Daredevil. So he should be in the mail and arriving today. Maybe that's why she was barking earlier. But yeah, looking forward to squeezing that in the shelf. Might have to move some stuff around. But I mean, just looks awesome. So this is stuff that you can order now if it's not sold out. But yeah, here's He-Man and Battle Cats. There's Hordak. I think Tyler's got the set here because I got him one of these for Christmas. I don't know. It was one that I bought while we were doing a show. It's like, yeah, I bought that for you. Mum Ra. I mean, that looks incredible. Only 150 too, so a little bit on the cheaper side. Here's another one, Hollywood Collectibles. These guys are starting to do more things. So now we have prop replicas, a RoboCop and a helmet. So that's fun. Zuni Warrior fetish doll. Here's quarter scale RoboCop, which looks awesome, but these in particular are very expensive. I'm pretty sure the Hollywood Collectibles stuff is. Rocky 4, Rocky Bust. Alien, more prop guns, which is cool. Always thought about the gun from Firefly. I used to see that all the time. I'm like, that would be fun to just have on display. But yeah, all the Hollywood Collectibles stuff is very pricey. And Stargate, look at that. Stargate getting some representation. That's a movie I've never watched. Concept's cool. I just don't know if that's something I could give a shot. Let's see what else the chat has going on. Mondo TMNT, as they call it, the Mondoverse, was picks up after the 1990 movie. Because of licensing, Hasbro had a say in the real Ghostbuster pricing as well as how many alternate hits they would include. Yeah, I guess that's got to be the thing too. Like Mattel and Hasbro working with these other companies and probably drawing some lines in the sand, being like, no, you can't do that, you can't do that. My favorite of the show was the McFarlane Zatanna with Detective Chimp. Well, hopefully we'll come across that so we can show that off. WonderCon revealed the Mondo spin on it. Okay, so that was just a tack on to the TMNT taken off after the 1990 movie. I really enjoyed my first two seasons. It gets very unwieldy with the power scaling later on. Still enjoyable, but all over the place. Which I think most animes have a tendency to do that. Anyway, Big Bad Workshop display. So I want to say this is Big Bad Toy Store's brand. I haven't really delved too much into that. Yeah, I saw a lot of people kind of bummed out that the Operation Monster Force figures weren't fully in effect to see what you're getting. Like some of them are painted and some of them weren't or something. These look fine. These are pretty cool for what they are. This is not something I think I would collect, but if you're kind of into more of that generic-y stuff, like, all right, like, what's this, Dr. Caligari? Like, that looks cool. I like that. But the biggest seller for me, once we get to it, like, that's cool. These guys look great, and clearly you can see it's just like, oh, here's like a Cobra Trooper, like a zombie Cobra Trooper, essentially. Some cool looking designs there. Yeah, like, all right. Pretty fun. Long box hero stuff. So they got Rocketeer. That's something I would be interested in. The Tick stuff. Very much would be into. So now they have just generics like Exorcist, Cheerleader, SWAT officer, some mob boss guys. I'm excited about this. I do have this pre-ordered. It's not coming out until next year, but I'm hoping that this will continue to get cops in 6-inch scale. That's going to be so badass. So really looking forward to these. Hope this continues. I hope we're not just going to get a few of these and then they're done. I was hoping that by showing this, they would have maybe unpainted versions of other characters coming down the pipe, but that's not the case. Yeah, so Edgar Allan Poe. Some generic naughty or nice stuff. So I could see Jeremy DeWitt wanting to jump into this and add it to like his Christmas displays, because his wife for like Halloween and Christmas goes all out on these displays, and they look incredible. Beast Kingdom, Lord of the Rings, and DC action figures. I don't know a lot about Beast Kingdom here. So this is 1/6 scale, it looks like. Yeah, that got some work to do on the hair on these Lord of the Rings guys, but the DC shit looks really good. So the kind of looks like Kingdom Come Batman. Not really getting the vibes from Superman there, but those look good. Yeah, here it's a little kind of looked better from the other angle, being honest. These look like 1/6, but at the same time, maybe not. I don't know. Kind of odd that on the joints that it's black and not painted to blend in like red and blue. So hopefully that's something that changes by the time they release. Get a penguin from Batman Returns. Yeah, so those must have just been like prototype-ish. $60? So maybe they is it doesn't say what scale they're in. So maybe those are 6-inch. Doesn't specify. Nope. All right. Icon Heroes. No, Zujitsu figures. So, is this the Cheetah Man? It's kind of like, yeah, this seems like sort of a take on the Cheetah Man video game. Interesting, but yeah, not something. Four Horsemen Studios. So here's Mythic Legion stuff. Boost shots. It's awesome to see that. All right, so they're coming out with a role-playing game. It's awesome to see Four Horsemen, after obtaining the notoriety for what they did with Master Universe, taking what they've learned from that and just making their own stuff. It's been really good, and it's nice to see people really into what they're doing. Like really good looking shit, but it's just I think if it's not based off of an established IP that I know and love from like a movie or animated show, I'm not as drawn to it. Like I think this stuff looks really good, but it's not something that I want to collect. Curious though, is there any news of them wanting to do like a Mythic Legions film based off of a certain section of characters that they've come out with, or an animated show? I mean, it's nice to see that they're doing a role-playing game. So I guess this is sort of, if they take that and blend it in with these figures, it's sort of like a modern day Dungeons and Dragons meets like Warhammer-esque, but it's shit you don't have to paint. Which I've kind of thought about that myself. I was like, that's something, would I have the patience to get like some Warhammer figures and sit down and paint them? If I do that, would I have any interest in playing the game? Because I've never been into role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons or any of the dice stuff or any of the card games like Magic the Gathering. I've just never been into it. Like these guys down here, like the space stuff, like I don't know his name, but this one here, and this guy here, I was tempted to get them just because they looked really awesome. But at the same time, it goes back to what I was saying. Where am I going to put them? Because everything else around me is just more stuff I grew up with, established IPs. What about just role playing in dungeons? No, not going to do that. But yeah, I'd be curious how many Mythic Legions fans there are out there in the chat. Hi Toys, Walking Dead, Mega Man, Godzilla, Star Trek, Texas Chainsaw, RoboCop, and more. So I think we've seen some of the Godzilla stuff earlier, maybe some of the Persona stuff as well. 2003 Texas Chainsaw, and then we get Chainsaw 2 and 1. These don't look as, those don't look as great. Contra figures look pretty decent. Loft, Star Trek, not so much. Don't care about these Godzilla Kong figures. What's we got? It was showing RoboCop, so is it just for? Oh, okay. See here again, some Universal Soldier. Is there any close? Yeah. All right. It's Universal Soldier stuff. Don't look like super highly detailed and amazing, but if you want some Universal Soldier figures. I mean, after all, my Letterboxd account is named after Dolph's codename, GR13. Then Mega Man stuff. Walking Dead. Is anyone still really into Walking Dead anymore? I know they got the spinoff show, Dead City, and then Daryl got his own show. But is anyone really holy shit about Walking Dead anymore? I'm not. I stopped watching the show even before Negan showed up. I think I made it to. It was right after the Governor storyline. I just kind of fell out of it. I know everyone made a big deal when Negan showed up because you follow the comics, you know where it's going to go, and then I think after that they sort of just went their own path with it. So I don't know. It is what it is there. Some anime, Gundam, and Superman. So yeah, SH Figure Arts stuff. But they always put out good shit. So if you're into that Superman looks pretty good. That looks very movie accurate. It's got some good stuff. Yeah, know nothing about any of this stuff, but there you go. It's what you want. There it is. There you go. Syndicate Collectibles. No idea who these guys are, but this looks like very, very, very small scale things. Okay, yeah, so it's just like a little like Fallout stuff. I guess they paired up with Jones Soda. Pumpkinhead. Which there's, yeah, all right. Yeah, these guys. Okay. Pumpkinhead statue. Admittedly, I kind of wanted to get this. Not that one. They've had it in different scales, so this is like they got a smaller version of that that's way cheaper and looks just as good. Is this Army of Darkness? So okay, little cosplay prop. Get you the hand chainsaw from Army of Darkness. Ghoulies statue and a lunchbox. Ghoulies 2 in particular. Okay, yeah, I think I remember seeing the kickboxer stuff. Yeah, look pretty good. Look pretty good. Do they? Okay. Killer Clowns. It's interesting to see Killer Clowns getting a lot of love. If you go into a Spirit Halloween, like the last 3-4 years, Killer Clowns. I was like, all right, yeah, it's nice to see that. I remember I saw the movie for the first time back in early 2000s. It's when that midnight movie MGM DVD release came out for it, and Tyler had picked it up. And he's like, "You got to watch this, man. It's awesome." And so I blind bought it. I think I got it like Kmart or something, and watched it. And it's just a fun, goofy ass movie. Golden Girls, basically like reaction form in Three's Company. Okay, so that's cool. I know NECA came out with the Golden Girls a few years ago, but to have that in a smaller scale and just have them on the shelf, that's I'm sure Xavier Woods very excited about these Golden Girls figures coming out. That's fun. Oh, then it's an exclusive, so they both are. So good luck getting those. Yeah, more prop gun stuff, which I think this is the. I guess I would have to look. Maybe these are the prop things that show up at Spirit Halloween. Yeah, I need to look up that Pumpkinhead statue again. All right, NECA. So we're getting some more Sesame Street stuff, which is fun. Oscar the Grouch, Big Bird. That'd be fun to pick these guys up, like especially Oscar. I would probably pick up an Oscar the Grouch figure. Of course, they had Bert, Ernie, and then the Count are the ones that have been released thus far. Which these all look great. Love some Sesame Street. No idea in terms of what they're specifically doing with these, so that's interesting. Get our Superman movie figure. He looks good. That's all we got of those. I'm sure there's more stuff here. Yeah. So we got the horror, Universal Monsters, Ben Cooper Kids, which they've been doing a lot of those lately, Alien, Predator, and Hammer Horror. So here's a list that we got that we're going to go through. What We Do in the Shadows, Toonie Terrors. So love the movie. Haven't watched much of the show, admittedly. I think I watched like an episode or two, and it's funny and it's great. So it's another show I need to jump back into. Retro card, Glow in the Dark, Bride of Frankenstein. For whatever reason, here's Chucky on a surfboard. Cool. I don't know if this is like a gimmick from like the show, which I watched a couple seasons of that, and that's really good. Here's Bob from Beetlejuice. So if you're into that, Beetlejuice figures have looked okay. Invisible Man, more Universal Monster stuff, which is great. It's nice to see them in like the colored and black and white versions. There for a minute, I was kind of getting them all. I kind of like dropped off a little bit. That's probably something I need to jump back into. I will get this Ben Cooper Pee-wee's Playhouse figure because I do have a little bit of a Pee-wee display on this wall here. So it's cool to see these. I did get the one in the Creature from the Black Lagoon to go with my creature collection. But yeah, Godzilla. Like these are fun. And then the Hammer Horror stuff, it's nice to see if they're doing that. Again, a Vincent Price. Terrifier, man. Like, I watched that first Terrifier film, and I thought it absolutely sucked. I think it was just too much of we're being gory. It's like, it has the reputation of, oh, look how gory this is. And that's fine. But that first one did nothing for me. And I would be willing to watch 2 and 3. But if it's going to be pretty much the same as the first, I'm not particularly going to have a great time. But hey, it's nice to see if you're into Terrifier that NECA's got you covered. Then, of course, we get Pennywise. I didn't look at packaging here, but is it safe to assume that this is sort of what they're doing because that new TV show on HBO Max is coming out? Maybe they're doing that. Some Chainsaw Love. Definitely like putting out Leatherface. I'm surprised they're not doing more of this. Maybe that's something they'll start to do is have them like retro carded, but have them placed in a way that it's like the movie poster. I'm surprised they haven't started doing more of that. Yeah, Devil's Rejects figures again. And it's nice to see getting Firefly and Tiny, which is awesome because usually it's just Otis and Captain Spaulding. We get figures of, so it's nice to see representation there. Of course, got to get some Evil Dead stuff going on, and then Megan. I enjoyed the first one. I've heard decent to mixed things about the second movie. Again, scary movie, Ghostface here. That's interesting, and then Scream from the newer iterations, which are terrible. And then Thanksgiving. I haven't watched this yet. I need to. And then we're getting Michael Myers from Resurrection, H2O, and The Curse of Michael Myers. So that's cool that they're doing them, but these are easily like the shittiest masks of the entire series. Especially H2O. God, that one was awful. So yeah, anyone wanting to complete their Michael Myers collection, here you go. It's the biggest bummer of this whole thing, because we'll probably see it here. They're doing the Savini Voorhees from the video game. Can we please just get a part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason from NECA? Yeah, here we go. Next slide. So this is from the video game. Tom Savini made this design. It's like Hell Jason or something. No interest in picking the. I'm not going to get this Jason. I have all the other ones, but I'm not going to get that. And then Pamela Voorhees. I might pick this up because the only releases she's had prior to this, I know she's like available now. The only prior releases that they've had have been the cloth ones, which I'm not the big fan of. Howling figure. This is out now, and I need to get these guys, because I do have my American Werewolf in London figures down here. So I need to pick these guys up. That's a crappy thing, is I think I would have to pick up 2 versions, because he has the swappable head and hands and top, I think, where you can show. I don't know if he's separate or if it's in the set. I'll have to look that up. But I already have the final form wolf. So yeah, I need to get these. These are definites for me. Predator Hunting Grounds. So this is video game, correct? This is the newer one. I can't remember. And then of course we have from was it Badlands that's coming out here, which seemed interesting. It's like we're gonna make Predator the good guy, and then also here with this definitely getting alien vibes, having that in there. So we'll see how that turns out. I still have not finished Predator Killer Killers, and I know that they added on a new scene that's got Harrigan and Dutch meeting somehow. So I'm curious what that's like. But yep, they've already planned figures for that. And then of course Alien Romulus, which I also still need to watch. And then we have our Ultimate Hooper and Quint figures. And then they've based that Jaws packaging off of the old game that came out. And then they did this too, which is the display piece that mimics the poster. So that's interesting. As we saw before, the Munsters, RoboCop, which I think it's available now, because I think I've seen that out in the wild. And we're getting more Golden Girls figures too, as we mentioned earlier. And then Wednesday, if you're a big fan of the Netflix show, there you go. Now we're back to the beginning. So they're still putting out the Chuckies too. The 1-to-1 scale replicas on that. NECA Turtles. Hopefully I'm not boring everyone to death. So it's just more variants. And here are the turtles. We get the surfing gimmick. At this point, the cartoon turtles, I've pretty much got everyone I need, so I'm done collecting these guys. They've started doing the comic adventures stuff. Hey, here's a crossover. Here's Garfield. I saw Pixel Dan kind of geeking out over that one, but yeah, I have no interest in the comic variant of these. So, that's your thing. It's cool. Nice to see that they're still doing that. So yeah, Bogus Beach Bros Slash. Yeah. Definitely no need for this at all. Yeah. The Robo variants, no thank you. Now this, I'm gonna get these, the 2012 Turtles that they're coming out with. So we get the foot, we get the Shredder. Looks great, very show accurate here. Really digging it. I'm curious because we see when we get a closer shot of Mikey with his eyes, I'm hoping that the other turtles have alternate heads too, that replicate more, because I would probably display them like that instead of with the wide eyes here. Ice Cream Kitty, man, like that sold me alone. But yeah, it looks just like the cartoons. I'm definitely going to pick up the 2012 NECA line, because that it might be weird to say it, but the 2012 show I kind of prefer over the 87 cartoon. They're both amazing, but I really love the 2012 show. Yeah, Shredder looks good. And the foot soldiers look great too. I'm kind of curious if these will be single releases or if they're going to do them much like they did with the movie foot and have them be 2-packs. And then I'm curious if are the Krangs going to be with them or are the Krangs going to be with Shredder or what. But yeah, those are looking good. Of course, is this last Ronin stuff? Because I know they did Last Ronin 2. And then, of course, we have the Usagi Yojimbo. These I'll probably pick up because this is like in the style of the Usagi comics, having the turtles in there. These look great. These I will probably pick up too. Ryan saying the eyes are interchangeable on their heads between the squinty and cartoon eyes. All right, right on. Because that's probably how I will display them. But yeah, if anything, definitely get the Usagi. But yeah, the turtles here in that style look awesome. I like that a lot. And then here we are. These are more comic figures. But these are more like and then Last Ronin stuff here, which I read I think it was like the first issue or two of Last Ronin. I really liked it. And then I think I just didn't get around to picking up the comics because comic shops around here, I have to drive quite a ways to get to. So maybe I'll just pick up the hardcover compendium of the first story and give that a read. I know the basic gist of it. And I'm assuming here Last Ronin 2 is kind of like a new turtle team, I guess. I don't know. Here they are mixed with the Universal Monster stuff, which that I kind of started for a little bit, and I've fallen off of that pretty hard. I mean, they look cool, but I think I'm kind of done with it. Done with the Universal Monster crossover line. And I said before, it's like the initial bit of this crossing things over. I'm like, oh, that looks cool. That looks cool. Plus, these reminded me of what they did in the vintage line ages ago. And then I guess these guys, I think they had the packaging. So they're getting re-released individually, much like they did before. So I guess it's more Ultimates compared to what they had, because the originals, when they were released individually, were GameStop exclusives. And I guess these will be the Ultimate versions that will come paired with, as you see here, Raph gets the trench coat and everything. So, yeah, if you missed out on the 90 Turtles, they're coming back out. Mezco also doing the Turtles. There's more comic. These are the 1990. These will also be very expensive. So once again, you find yourself at a point. Are you going to get the NECA ones? Or are you going to get these? These look a little bit skinnier to me. Like they look different. It's not bad, but it definitely. I think the NECA looked a little more accurate to the movie compared to these. But if you're into the Mezcos, these will run you about $100 a pop, unless they're all coming out together in a set. Then you're looking at about $400. So. You have Beetlejuice, Sin City Marv, which looks great. Sin City's fantastic. Love the movie, love the comic. Get some Conan here. I don't know if Tyler saw these or not. He might have some interest in those. Those look really good. Like really, really good. More movie Superman. And then Red Hood, I'm assuming this has got to be from Arkham games, right? Because that one does. And then Dark Knight, that's your deal, like Joker. They look great. Joker looks good. And here's Fantastic Four. I already have those. Doctor Doom, I probably should have gotten. I think he's sold out everywhere. Last I looked, but yeah, I have this set, and it's great. And it comes in this big tin. And shitload of accessories. Hulk. Nightcrawler looks really good. And then feeling kind of dumb. Have no idea what this is. They're just like, why? Huh, all right. So Christmas Vacation, I'm not a big fan of. So I'm curious what scale all of this stuff is. That's interesting. All right. What is this? Nacelle. Oh, so this is the company that does Sectars, Power Lords, Biker Mice, Cowboys, and Moon Mesa, Robo Force. I've seen a lot of this stuff at Walmart, and unfortunately, not selling too well because I think the Biker Mice stuff has been discounted at a lot of mine. But it's cool seeing that they're taking a chance on these licenses and trying to put this stuff out. If you're into Star Trek, here you go. Seems like the Star Trek license has been spread about multiple companies at this point. These look okay. Sculpts look pretty good, but once again, yeah, $28.99 per figure. That's not terrible. So those look all right. I'm curious if how they'll look in hand as opposed to just being here in the booth. If these are the final deals. The Expanse. So if you're into that, I know nothing about the Expanse. They've made figures. So there you go. RoboForce Wave 2. Those RoboForce figures, seeing those at Walmart, those looked pretty neat. Cowboys Moon Mesa. These look awesome. And Biker Mice from Mars, Wave 2. So I guess it did well enough that they're going to put out Wave 2. So there you go. Sectar. Oh, so we're getting the vehicles here. And decently priced. $40. Figures, 25. So, yeah. At least there's a few affordable things that aren't going to break the bank out there. We already looked at the... Well, let's click on this and see if they got anything else for Jim here, because we sort of looked at all that. So this was the exclusive 2-pack with Jerica and Synergy. Don't really have any interest in that, really. Album out now. Original music and reimagined songs on vinyl for the first time. Scan to order. I'll have to look into that. Because I kind of wouldn't mind having that record, if we're being honest. McFarlane. So now we're getting back into what Brian Clifton was talking about earlier. So let's see if we can find that. I was kind of surprised, too, that McFarlane was still able to retain DC licensing since Mattel didn't some of it go back to Mattel. So we get the Snyder Cut figures here. Get the multiple, what is this? 1 of 12 legendary winners, hand-painted figures. That reminds me of one of the vintage Kenner Batmans that I had. So maybe that's kind of what this is a play off of. It's like old school Wonder Woman. This looks cool. But once again, the scale on these guys is just awkward. And they kind of run into the same thing. It's like, oh, here's another Batman. Here's another Superman. Here's something from a game that you don't care about. This Nightwing looks cool. Retro Nightwing. I don't know. How are you guys feeling about the DC stuff? Also, I guess I did kind of know that they had the Warhammer license. Batman the Animated Series, Lockup. It seems like it's spread around a lot, too. It's like, here's a Batman from this, and here's that. But all the packaging looks the same, too, for the most part. It's kind of off. Mortal Kombat stuff. I don't know. The McFarlane figures don't really do it for me, really. Just something about them. I mean, they've gotten better, because I remember when they first came out and they were doing like Batman animated series stuff and Superman. The proportions were so bad. Peacemaker, John Cena. Saw the trailer for season 2 of that. And I was just like, all right. see how that turns out. I'll click on this. We've already looked at the Scooby-Doo stuff, but as we saw earlier, Frosty the Snowman. So if you want to get into that for holiday displays, and then Fred and Barney. Cocoa Pebbles, man. Love some Cocoa Pebbles. Yeah, we've already taken a closer look. Here we go. Here's the well, let's go back to this. So they had the Power Sword and the Havoc Staff. The movie has gotten a release date. I'm sure most of you have seen the little teaser thing that they had that was all text-based. So it's June 5th next year, exclusively in movie theaters, which is kind of surprising with it being Amazon MGM. I figured that it would have just gone directly to streaming. So we'll be in theaters next June. So I'm kind of surprised. I haven't looked, but I'm assuming there wasn't anything beyond that. I don't think there's any more trailer stuff to talk about. So yeah, a date has been set after all this time. You guys are finally going to get it. But here is the who alluded to it earlier about it being piss stained Grayskull. So here this is, and I guess their point was trying to make it look like it did in that early prototype phase that you would see in the pictures with the kids playing with it. Yeah, not a big fan of that look, but I guess, you know, if you missed out on the other Origins one and you want it, then there you go. Some more Origins stuff, which now they're just we're going there, I guess, just all over the place. Sting or all right. Like, it doesn't look terrible, like it's, but at the same time, it's okay. We're just gonna come out with all this stuff. There's Hero, which I think these guys have been available on the creations page previous, right, over the last little while. Now they just kind of have them here on display. Here's the crossover Thundercats stuff. No thanks. Yeah. Is what it is. More close-up shots of these guys. Stingor, man. All right. And then Masterverse and the 2000X stuff, which we've taken a look at in closer detail earlier. I think they have, yeah, this is pretty much all the stuff. We saw Jada Toys, Hasbro Ghostbusters. What are they doing with that? Is this more movie stuff? Yeah, so we got Ghostbusters 2, Ghostbusters 1, Rooftop Showdown. So I'm assuming they're just doing these all on 4-packs, which look fine. We get the librarian there. Yes. This is what Tom picked up for me. This was exclusive for the con. And I know it's silly, but they came out in the vintage line, and they're stupid expensive if you want to get them there. So this is the next best thing. So I'm incredibly happy to have those. They've also put up for pre-order the Ecto-Glow Ecto-1, which I guess now by proxy with having the Ecto-Glow Ghostbusters, I probably need to pick up the Ecto-1. So there you go. Dumb, like these don't look great at all by any means, and it's stupid. It's like they got their names like this, and it just, but they came out in the vintage line, and I had to have them. So once again, thank you, Tom, for picking those up for me. Mario Gamerverse and Superman. So I mean, these Mario figures look great. I just have no interest in collecting Mario video game stuff. Gamerverse. These are cool. I know that Marvel Legends was doing that with their Gamerverse stuff. I kind of would like to get the Psylocke that came in the 2-pack with Thanos, but that's a Target exclusive for now. Hopefully that'll change down the road. I think we already looked at that Superman earlier. Marvel Legends Hasbro case preview night, so it's like the Sentinels and stuff. Yeah, let's take a look at these Mafex, Punisher, Venom, and Iceman. So this is from the movie. Can't even zoom in on those. Interesting. There's Punisher. This looks more based off of the arcade game from the looks of it. And then Iceman. Iceman always looks cool. Anytime you get the translucent plastic, that's always a good time. Death Stranding. So Hot Toys. Hot Toys coming out with the RoboCop and Kane, which is great, but I can't even begin to imagine how much this is going to be. But it looks awesome. It's nice to see RoboCop 2 getting some love out there. I know there's another company that did them in smaller scale. Let's see, what do we got? And that's pretty much about it. Like most of this stuff is what they're getting. These you can get at the theme park at Universal Studios, and you can pick it up on their shop. I think they're kind of pricey though. But it's just variation colors. I might pick up the Gill Man if he's not sold out. We shall. Well, I guess we could. Let's click on it. Let's see. If I just click on him there, will it take me to the shop? $48, and he's in stock. So, maybe, but at the same time, it's just a repaint. Well, that pretty much sums it up. That was basically most of what we got at San Diego Comic-Con in terms of reveals. That was a lot of talking for 2 hours straight. Let's see. I think they've stopped, but the figures that had painted on side eyes and finger guns bugged me. Yeah, they're nostalgic and fun. So, I guess if you guys got any kind of questions or anything, toss out a couple of them. I'll take a couple of them, and then we'll bounce house and get out of here. I think Tyler will be back Friday, so look forward to hopefully us doing a show on Saturday or Sunday, and then with me being off, we'll kind of go back to what we were doing before, do Friday nights there for a few weeks, and then of course once I'm back, we'll be bouncing to the weekends again. Masters Keep, great job. Thanks for all you do. Hey, thank you guys for watching and tuning in. I know things have been different now on the channel, and I know that some people haven't tuned in, and I get that. I totally understand, but with that, hopefully, with topics we have coming up and just how we've been talking just strictly Masters lately, a few weeks, I think this is the first time kind of stepping away from not talking about Master Universe, but even then, still showing off Master Universe related things. We'll probably stick with that going forward for the most part, though we have talked about wanting to do a spinner rack and do a comic, and then talking about a movie. I think when Tyler comes back from the beach at some point, I think he's going to go see Fantastic Four. So eventually we'll give our thoughts on that. What was it that Johnny had? Oh yeah, I already showed off the comment earlier about the 2000X figures being a little a mishmash of looking a certain way. Ryan saying here, Robocane is the one I want, unless I could buy an actual ghost in the Ghost Trap packaging. I'd like that. Yeah. So yeah, all of you in the comments, if you end up watching this after the fact, let me know like stuff that really piqued your interest this year at San Diego Comic-Con and stuff that you want to pick up and spend your money on, because a lot of it's pricey. Emma Frost Mephisto is stuff that I've already pre-ordered. The 2012 NECA Turtles, when those become available for pre-order, I'll definitely get those. There's no doubt about it. That Usagi and then the Turtles in that style, I would like to pick up. We shall see. I know that Hot Toys also has the Fantastic Four first step stuff. So much like Iron Studios, if I'm gonna get anything, it would be the Thing from those, just to add it to the Thing collection. So when you gotta pick and choose. Oh, what time we got here? 3:30. Yeah. I guess if we don't really have anything, I'll go ahead and get out of here and end the stream. But with me, once again, having some time off, maybe we can do some video games, vintage video games, and be terrible at that and play that. Maybe stream some Marvel Rivals on PS5 and play that for a little bit. And you guys get sick of me playing Namor, because that's my main on Marvel Rivals. And I'm not that great at it, but I do pretty well, I think. So I'll try to hopefully do some of that stuff. I should, because it's been far too long since I've streamed any video games. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'll go ahead and bounce house. Yeah, I actually just got the text. I forgot that it actually shipped to my parents. So I'll get out of here and drive and go visit them and pick up that Iron Studios Daredevil statue, which I'm very much looking forward to piecing together and setting on the shelf. I think I know exactly where I'm going to put it. So that said, thank all of you for popping in and out. I've watched the number kind of fluctuate throughout these past 2 hours. Really enjoyed going through that. It was fun to just sit here and do something like that, because I haven't done that in quite some time. So thanks to all of you for popping in, talking in the chat, or just simply tuning in and lurking around. And hopefully you saw some stuff that you want to pick up. As I stated earlier, Brian popping in and saying McFarlane has DC until July. So how does that work? They showed off all those things, and then I'm assuming those are going to come out after the fact. It's not like boom, boom, boom. Or you're saying July of next year? Curious about that. Or if it's just a thing where Mattel is like, all right, yeah, you can put out some of this stuff, but I don't know. It's just strange how all of this is turning out. All these different brands being to different companies in different ways. Like, I know with the movie stuff, the Ninja Turtle movie stuff, they were like, no, you can't sell these directly in store. And then over time, I guess a period passed, and then they could, because you would see like the 2-packs at Walmart. Yeah, so it's just weird how they do all the stuff and license everything out. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. We'll call this a stream. But thanks to all of you. I'll just run down the list. Chris Carter, Johnny Cock, No Bother, Crom's Mountain, Ethan Michael Crane, Manic Plastic Toy Shop, Omega Tour, Brian Clifton, Masters Keep, Ryan, July 2026. Okay. It's good, because I was like, they're showing all this stuff. If it runs out in a week, how's that going to work? But yeah, all right. Curious to see what McFarlane may try to nab after the DC license expires. If it's something more, because I know he's doing like the Movie Maniacs thing again too, but it's not how it was. They're not. It's not like how we had. Here's Pumpkinhead from Movie Maniacs. You know, it's like. Now he's made them essentially, they're just like statues, and it goes beyond just horror stuff. I've seen like Kevin from The Office and all those things. Some of them look good and some of them don't. There's like Matrix and all kinds of shit, but they're just like little mini statues. So maybe he'll move from that to more articulated things from film and go beyond that after the DC stuff runs out. But we shall see. But thanks once again, everyone, for joining. Hope you had fun, and we should catch you at the end of the week for an episode of NPC. If not, maybe once again, stream some video games or something. We'll figure something out. But thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time. Which clip do I want to play? We'll play this one. See you guys.
So you're gonna quit?
Nuh-uh, not really. I'm just gonna stop going.